I'm gonna use so many Jim Halpert gifs. A Quiet Place is directed by the most handsome man on the planet, John Krasinski, and stars Jim Halpert and Emily Blunt, who are actually married in real life. The premise here is very simple. It's in the poster. If they hear you, they hunt you. In this movie, there's very minimum dialogue, but gladly enough, it did extremely well without it. And you know exactly what the rules of living in this place are right at the beginning. The opening scene starts at day 84, I believe, since this all started, and it is stated, it's stamped in your head right there. If you make any sound, they will hunt you and very likely kill you. Now, since there's not a lot of story to talk about, and I want to keep the plot a surprise, I'm not going to talk about it for people who haven't seen it. So let's just break it down to what I liked. I liked this film very much, actually. John Krasinski made a really good suspenseful thriller in the first quarter of the year. A lot like Jordan Peele did last year with Get Out. I mean, have you seen it? But for real, I think A Quiet Place is an excellent movie, and the idea of it being a silent film makes for some really good cinematography. And I'm not saying it's because it's silent, but you can enjoy the other aspects of it a lot more. Like, there's a scene where Jim and Emily's characters share a lovely slow dance. I think that was beautiful. The child actors in this were not terrible at all, and the girl who played the older child, who is actually deaf in real life, fun fact, she's deaf in the movie, and every scene she's in where it cuts to her point of view, the sound completely muffles out. I think that was an excellent idea and a good way to put the viewer in her shoes. Or, I mean, they can't wear shoes, so their feet. Despite the lack of dialogue, the acting done by simple gestures, sign language, and just the way they look at each other and react to one another really sells the idea of them being a family who's just trying to survive together. Jim Halpert has said in interviews about the film that he doesn't really look at the movie as a monster movie, more like a movie about family and what a father would do to protect his family. And I totally agree on that. I got the sense of that very early on in the movie, and it's a concept that I can get behind. The attention to detail is also worth mentioning. The toys made of wool and other things like the plates they use to eat, which are actually just giant leaves. The red lights used for emergencies as not to have any sort of alarm. And I was also really impressed with the creature design as well. It looked good, and when I saw the movie was partly produced by Michael Bay, it all made sense. They got some Michael Bay money in this bitch. Now, in terms of things I didn't like, there aren't many things, to be honest. It's not to say the movie's perfect, because it's not. But I can't really say I had a lot of dislikes with it. I can say some editing choices weren't the best. Or, for example, there's a scene where Emily Blunt's character is aiming a shotgun at one of the creatures, and the creature swings wildly as some thinks to her right, misses her by a lot. And after that, you cut back to Emily Blunt following the creature with the shotgun. Kind of like a late reaction kind of thing. Yeah, that and other moments in the film, it could have done a little better with editing, I guess. In the opening scene that I mentioned earlier, there's a beautiful piece of music that I wish we heard more of during the movie, but that wasn't the case, unfortunately. The score was pretty forgettable. But hey, the sound design was great. A Quiet Place is butthole clenching, edge of your seat good. I had a really good time with this one, and I think you would too. You should definitely spend your money on this one and support it, because I would hate to see this flop at the box office. I give A Quiet Place 8 cookies out of 10 and a B+, and my sticker of approval. Seriously, go see this movie. You will not regret it. And that is all my time for today now. If you'll excuse me, I have to go shave my feet.